Yeah. Glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You get in this place. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy. When it's sick of me, I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through a transparency. Heard they self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. At first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over when my time stops.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be part of. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chick. Something about the VVS when the sun is hitting. Shit be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Look. I know we about to have this conversation, man. It's foundational black.
I've been building out my capsule wardrobe and recently bought this pair of black slacks. I needed some inspiration for how to wear them, so I asked ChatGPT to help me. It was so useful to brainstorm how to wear them for different occasions like work, going out, running errands, and date night.
Tap in on to it. I know we're about to get straight to it, man. Ain't nothing too good to do it, and we're gonna do it like we used to. You know, I'm gonna tell you all about this, man.
Glitch the guarantee,
man.
E&E.
All right, we about to get straight to it. Make sure y'all tap in, man. What up and all that.
Put your boy shit. Lost and glitch. We cool niggas. This is the cool.
Major.
We on the rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All cruise with the top down. And we listening the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Sporting. Ball looking for the fall-in, switches all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit. Killing in vain is vanity. Yeah. Do it again is insanity. Yeah. Nauseous a real vigilante. Yeah. Killing these kids is plan B. Yeah. Hood is too hot with an antifreeze. Yeah. Blowing on leaves in these planted trees. Okay. Don't break the code, this family. Okay. We cutting off legs like amputees. My flow is classic, antique. Yeah. Freaking the beat, is it Japanese? Yeah. Ever our cook is a masterpiece. Yeah. When money talkers, we Guapanese. Okay. Fire and flame mixed with gasoline. Passing my sons, that's a legacy. Study the gang, how they testing me. Yeah. They dropped the ball, man, that's incomplete. Beat them so bad, make them retreat. Yeah. All of these gems you can retweet. Yeah. Play with your boys on repeat. You pay the price with your receipt. Yeah. Below $1 million, flipping it. Okay. Everyday noise get sickening. Trying to flip bills to trillions. Turning these good girls to villains. Lyrics is sick, butcher shit. E&E clip what we represent. Put it on wax like a candlestick. We move with units and measurements. Cooking it up in the lab. We just performing experiments. Since I'm the bomb atomic, these rappers out of my
We on the
element.
rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All groups with the top down. And we listening to top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin'. We sponsored by Sporting. Ball looking for the fall-in. Soldiers all fall in. And we go all in. While we listening to all in. While you all talking. We smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin. Glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit.
Glitch, nigga. Perfecting my flow. If I'm on the track, then you know it's a go. The guarantee, nigga, and I guarantee treat the gas like the Clippers. You know I'm a choke. Only exotic when blowing the smoke. No one ahead of me. I got the recipe. Do this shit easily. This is my destiny. Sick throwing lobs. I'm dunking on everything. Niggas is sick and I got the remedy. What I prescribe is extra artillery. Get in my zone and start going berserk. I'm feeling like Clay when he went off for 60. With the bullshit, swear to God you can miss me. Best friends with the money. Aaliyah and Missy. I come from the bottom. To try me is risky. Throwing this K like that bitch is a frisbee. Real talk. Let me lock in. Show these niggas what I do. Axe brain. I be standing next to players too. Front line shit, nigga, I'm the fucking truth. Top 6 ever of the 5 in my group. Niggas still bang top down in the coop. Put your boyed up and we coming for the loot. E&E shit, we the best, yeah, it's true. This is guaranteed, nigga, this is what I do.
Yeah. What up, what up? You already know what it is, man. You won't lose. Yeah. What up? It's your brother, Virgil, aka Stats with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tapped in, tuned in to another episode of Real Talk Podcast. We on Facebook Live right now too, so it's Real Talk Live, right? Gary Russell, what's happening? Man, we're talking about the real history of the Nation of Islam, the actual history of the Nation of Islam. That it's either one or two, right? Maybe a combination of the two. Guys who were people who are part of the Nation of Islam or the religion of Islam, especially here in America with the Nation of Islam and their security force, the Fruit of Islam. Many people who are part of this organization nationwide do not know, although this information is very public information. It's not like it's a secret. It's not like it's like, oh, Virg. No. This is very public information. You just have to have the skills in critical thinking, deductive reasoning, process of elimination, and dot connecting. And you can put all this stuff together. It's very simple. It's very easy. And the fact that people who call themselves Muslims are in fact members of the Nation of Islam don't know this information is quite astounding. So it's one that either they don't know, and that's an example of them not doing their due diligence, or two, they do know and they somehow deny that this is what it is, right? Now, with this show, man, listen here, man, I'm not here to disrespect anybody. I'm not here to change the way anybody thinks or feels. Because you can tell somebody the truth about something and they're still, you know, like I say, my goals ain't to change. My goals ain't to change the way you feel. My goals is to change the way you think. I don't really too much care how most of y'all feel, to be honest with y'all. How y'all feel ain't none of my damn business. All right, especially when we're talking about facts. When we're talking about actual history, when we're talking about factual, proven with the facts history, feelings are obsolete. They have no meaning whatsoever. Daniel Valencia, what's good with you, bro? My man OG, what's happening, man? All the brethren tapping in, man. What's good with you, OG? Right? Yeah, that's how they be, man. Okay, I'll see what's going on in the comment section. Yeah, man, tap in, man. My man Clifton Anthony Curtis Sr., what's good with you, man? Right? Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, man, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm cool with a lot of Muslim brothers, man. A lot of my ox is still in the joint. Shout out to my man Dawood. Shout out to my brother Dawood, man, up out of Cincinnati, man. Hopefully that little brother gets some justice, man. Get up out of that whoozy out sooner than later. Yeah, and and that's what's up, Clifton Anthony Curtis here. I know a lot of brothers who it has done the exact same thing for, right? So like I said, y'all, right? I'm not here to lambast. I'm not here to point the finger. All I'm here to do is to present to y'all the facts, right? That's it, right? Make of it what you will. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, we're going to get to the facts of the situation. And then you can decide how you feel about it, right? Hopefully I can have influence on what you think about it, right? Because I don't really, like I said, my here's the challenge thinking, not feelings, right? All right. I'm about to show y'all, tap in. See, if y'all come over to YouTube, y'all will be able to see the facts. But see, since y'all tapping in on Facebook, y'all can only hear them, right? Right now, it's not about it's not about if they real or fake Muslims, because as far as the Nation of Islam as a religion, you know what I'm talking about, I guess you could say they're real in the sense that they actually believe what they believe in, and they're living their life according to a set and code of ethics and stuff like that, you know. So with that being said, I think they're very real Muslims. But then you think about what the word Muslim means, they are the true definition of what a Muslim is. Right? That's actually a good question. That's actually a good question, OG, because we got a lot of pseudo Muslims. We got a lot of people See, a lot of people use Islam as a pseudo religion. You feel me? One that can use as a disguise to hide their actual other religions that they actually are beholden and actually what's the word I'm looking for here? And align with. Yeah, I done read all them different. I done read a few different versions of the Quran too. Right. Right. And when it comes to this situation right here, y'all, I want y'all to understand that, for one, the religion, right, in its origins and foundation of Islam has demonic roots, like all other religions do. Literally every single one of them. That's why I'm not a religionist person at all. Y'all tap in with me, that's something that y'all would discover, right? But all religions, all of them, right, are based and rooted in Satanism and Luciferianism. And that's an absolute fact, right? But this is not even so much about the religion of Islam. This is not what this is about. This is about the Nation of Islam, which is a religious / political organization that I would take my hat off to, actually has and continue to does beautiful work in the Black community. I've seen brothers give their life to Islam and change their life for the better, and they are actually great men now, right? That doesn't negate the facts of the origins of the organization and how they got started, and for what purpose and reason, right? And this conversation is serious because so many of us, like my brother Clifton Anthony Curtis Sr. said, he said Islam saved his life. And I know plenty of brothers who Islam saved their lives. Plenty. And them some good brothers, man. Good brothers. And when I was in the joint with these brothers and I presented them with this information, I seen the glaze go over. I saw the glaze go over a lot of brothers' eyes when they're hit with information that just totally negates and shatters anything they thought they believed about something that they think they know about. So, you know what I'm saying? I just sit up here and almost got in a fight with my Akis in the joint behind sharing this information and knowledge with them. And that's why I say it's just amazing to me how many people who follow Islam do not know this. And I've come across enough people to say, nah, I'm not saying this because I come across some of y'all who are aware of this. I've come across some people who have left Islam and the Nation of Islam after finding out this information. But like I say, y'all, this information is very public. I'm not making this up. I'm not reaching out of the sky. I'm not conjuring anything up. All of this information is public. Suppressed, not discussed, down there trying to get deleted, yes, but it's not hard to come by, only if you shall seek it out, right? And when I was in the joint, and I used to tell my Islamic brothers, my Muslim brothers, about this organization, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them, like I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all probably may be feeling, they was thinking that I was somehow trying to like be on some bulls with them. And I'm like, nah, I'm just basically just sharing this knowledge with you. This is the information I've come across over years of study concerning this organization. And the Nation of Islam is no different than the Kojic. They're no different than the AME Church. They're no different than the Lutheran, the Mormons, the Catholics, Protestants. They're no different than anyone. They're no different in their structure and origin, not in their influence in today's society, but in their structure and origin. They're all the same. And that's what I want to get across to my brothers who call themselves Muslims. One who submits, or those who submit, or they that submit. Right? Starting with the very structure, the very so-called leaders who y'all hold in so much high regard. Right? He said, you assume that this nation of Islam is a religion. It's not. I know it's not. You assume that I'm assuming. I know that the Nation of Islam is different than the religion of Islam. If anybody knows that, it's me. Right? I'm talking about both. The religion of Islam, right? It has its demonic Luciferic origins, just like the Nation of Islam, which is a completely separate organization outside of the original religion of Islam, right? Islam, however y'all want to pronounce it. They're two different things, much like how actual LGBTQ people are different from the LGBTQ LMNOP barbecue committee agenda. They're not the same, right? Now, I'll just say that. They're not the same in that sense, right? But the Nation of Islam, the NOI, and their security force, the FOI, which I got a lot of respect for the fruit of Islam. They took a lot of young brothers and turned them into straight warriors who can physically defend themselves, and they provide their own security. Right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. Young Black brothers, especially in the city of Chicago, have joined Islam and joined the FOI as well as the NOI. And they have changed their lives due to their involvement with martial arts. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You got your one young brother on Facebook. What's his name? Young Prince Ja. Or what's his name? The young brother out of Chicago who teaches martial arts and self-defense. Beautiful young brother, man. Right? Beautiful young brother. Right? The Nation of Islam, they kind of like a political organization. Louis Farrakhan is a very political guy. And he is the guy who is the representation as the leader of the Nation of Islam. He's a very political guy. He got a lot of political connections. It's safe to say that the Nation of Islam is a political, religious organization. Facts. Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam have participated in getting certain legislation passed, not only in Chicago, but across the nation. So with that being said, that would in fact make them a political organization, right? What y'all talking about in the comment section over here on YouTube? He said, my man RBG, what's good with you, bro? I just seen you popped up in the joint. What's good with you, RBG? My man said, can't trust him. Right? The human gets a chance to make things. Calling out for almost all of them. Real black RBG going in. Yeah, man. And you have to get to the basis, y'all. Listen, I'm just here to present the truth, the facts, man. Y'all make of it what y'all will, right? Now, I didn't, like I said, I don't just be conjuring stuff up and cool stuff up. This is the facts. This is quite public information. That's why this amazes me how many people who consider themselves or say that they are members of the Nation of Islam or the Fruit of Islam or both, how they don't know this. It's crazy, right? And, you know, I say that to say, and it's not like I'm just picking on Islam. This is pervasive through all religions. All of them are controlled and not originated by people who, you know, how can I say it, practice it the most, right? Right, you got a lot of the Khazarian demons I'll tell y'all about who be perping like they are Muslims, followers of Islam. Right, when really they Khazarians, perping like they perping like they Jews and they perping like they goddamn ox. They really Khazarian, Luciferian, right? Damn, Patrick, what's happening, man? It's crazy to say that the NOI is not a political organization and their leader is a very political figure. It's crazy. I mean, he's not like an official politician. He's not like one of those Senate committees or nothing like that, but he definitely speaks on things of a political nature, especially regarding the Nation of Islam and the Black community. He absolutely does. He had a conversation with lots of politicians speaking on things of political policy. Right? Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's true, Daniel Valencia. You know what I'm saying? I just said that. My man, he said, well, a lot of political organizations have religious, but yeah, that's, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, but listen, though, supposed to be a separation between church and state. And over years, the lines have obviously and clearly been blurred, right? Man, you already know, Dan Patrick, man, I'm fair for a square, man. If I had y'all's hands, I'd cut mine off. You understand me? I just came from the gym, got a good workout in. I feel great. Now I'm back here doing a show. You know what I'm saying? It's Foundational Black American History Month. So I thought we'd do some history, right? And the reason why I say it's Foundational Black American History because, you know what I'm saying, as the present time show, you know what I'm saying, a large amount of us are people who are members of these two organizations and or followers of the Islamic faith. So, you know what I'm saying? Right? And I just think is because I know for a fact a lot of y'all don't know this information. I think it's just nice for y'all to know this. You know, it's just History Month. Nice to share with y'all. Right? So y'all can understand why I be saying the stuff I say. Right? It's not to disrespect anybody or make anybody feel any type of way. I don't care how any of y'all feel, man. How y'all feel ain't none of my business. It really don't matter to me, man. Right? I care what y'all think, though. Right? And I'm here to show a lot of y'all, most of y'all, I'm here to talk about what we've been told versus what actually is. Right? You know what I'm saying? When we get to the origins and the basis of not only the religion, like we ain't even talking about the religion of Islam. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. We talking about the organization, political religious organization, the Nation of Islam and their security defense force, the Fruit of Islam. Both of which I have a level of respect for. As I just said to y'all, shout out to the Fruit of Islam for teaching young brothers martial arts and self-defense and turn them young brothers' life around. You got them young brothers doing beautiful things. Some of them are fighters. Some of them are security, you know what I'm saying, own security companies, private security. Some of them brothers teach self-defense in the communities. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Right? And some brothers been able to change their lives by taking their shahada and all of that, and I have no, that's, you know, I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a beautiful thing, but I also think it's a even more beautiful thing to understand the history of these organizations that we align ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? Not so much as into you know what I'm saying, how can I say this? Not so much as to make anybody feel some type of way, but to make you understand that, hold on, what you've been told about this situation really ain't what it is, right? Right? Now, when we're talking about the NOI, y'all, in America, there's one guy we got to start with. Do y'all know his name? Clifton Anthony Curtis Sr. Right? Yeah. I ain't even paying attention to what they say on Facebook. No, I'm not all over the place. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And you talking about Elijah Muhammad, who is never going to be, I would never refer to any man as honorable. I ain't calling y'all honorable, your excellency, your high. I would dare say none of that to none of you dudes, man. Right? That's just flat out right there. Right? But when we're talking about Elijah Muhammad, and I'm glad you brought Elijah Muhammad up, but I'm not even talking about Elijah Muhammad because he's not the guy, right? He's not the main guy anyway, right? What y'all know about the main guy who is credited as starting the Nation of Islam in America? And it's not Elijah Muhammad. It's not Elijah Muhammad. Not Elijah Muhammad. Right? Any of y'all know who the guy's name is? Clifton Anthony Curtis Sr. Do you know this guy's name, who I'm talking about? And I'm not talking about Elijah Muhammad. I'm talking about Elijah Muhammad's benefactor. His I guess you could say his teacher. If that's what you want to call it. Right? No, I'm asking y'all a question now, man. Right? I'm asking to see if y'all know. Right? Some of y'all might know. Like I say, this knowledge, this information is very public. Right? You know? When we're thinking about the Nation of Islam, this guy, Elijah Muhammad, he gets credited for being the founder or person who's the go-to guy over there, right? Credited as being Malcolm X's go-to guy, teacher, benefactor, if you would, right? But where did Elijah Muhammad get the game from? That's the question I'm asking the audience. Do y'all know? Right? Men in pursuit of purpose says, I believe in the ultimate creator, yet most religions seem to be man-made. I'm not dissing the philosophies embedded in any religion that are beneficial and implemented in our lives. Yeah, and I feel you on that, Blade. I feel you on that. And that's where I'm coming from. Like I said, I remove feelings from the situation. We speak in facts, right, today. So I remove my feelings when it comes to things of a factual nature. You know what I'm talking about? So I said this. I'm not saying anything as far as like, you know, I recognize and I respect and acknowledge the very positive, like I just said, like I stated, since I've been talking the positive things that through the Nation of Islam, a lot of Black brothers and sisters have been able to do. I salute that. I'm going to be interacting and engaging with some brothers of the Islamic faith tonight when I go to this meeting I've been telling y'all about, and I'm going to talk about before we end this show, right? When we're talking about the Nation of Islam as an organization, right, we have to go beyond Elijah Muhammad, whose real name is Jesse Poole, if I'm not mistaken. That's his real name before he changed it to Elijah Muhammad. It's a guy who we got to look at, right? Before we talk about Elijah Muhammad, we got to talk about this guy, right? We got to talk about this guy. This is a guy we got to talk about right here. Wallace Fard Muhammad, or we're going to see what we're about to see what his real name is here in a second, right? Man, you cool in the talk about, man, right? We have to start with this guy, Fard Muhammad, who ain't even Black, man. And that absolutely matters, right? He's a New Zealand guy of Khazarian descent, right? Who was handpicked by his Khazarian demon masters, the Rothschilds, to do exactly what he did, right? Fard Muhammad is not a Muslim originally. Like, so let's say Islam is the religion that people hijack and use for a front cover to cover their Khazarian because they're so closely connected and similar in some ways. So it's easy for people who are really Khazarians to front like they're publicly Muslims and followers of Islam and Muhammad and Allah because they speak Arabic. But really, they're Khazarians. We call them pseudo Jews or pseudo Islamic guys. This is straight out of Sabbatean Frankinism. Islam is an offshoot, specifically the Nation of Islam. See, now I'm getting to the religion of Islam. Some of it might mix up as I'm talking about the religion of Islam and the nation of Islam, right? Based off of Sabbatean Frankinism, Islam is a moon-based religion stemming with its demonic Luciferic roots in ancient Akkadian and Babylonian religion. Facts. Right? And here we make it to this point in history where we got this guy, Wallace Fard Muhammad, a Khazarian implant out of New Zealand, whose people came over here to the West Coast and then eventually the East Coast of the United States of America, right? Because his daddy, right, is connected. Now, this guy is a criminal, man. He went to prison for murder and selling heroin back in the day, right? Why did he do that? Because Wallace Ford was a New Zealand gangster, right? Out of the U.S. outfit under guys like Meyer Lansky. So he was, a part of that organization that stretched to New Zealand, implanted from New Zealand to the west coast of America, and then eventually to the East Coast, where he started and founded the NOI. And if y'all wondering about that thumbnail that I use, how many of y'all know who that YT man is on the thumbnail with Elijah Muhammad? How many of y'all know who that is? Do y'all who are the members of the Nation of Islam, or even people who are followers of the religion of Islam, do y'all know who the guy on the thumbnail is? We're going to get to that. Right? But I say all this to say that I want y'all to understand that the Nation of Islam has very, very nefarious roots. It is not a Black founded or funded organization. It is not founded or funded by Black people. Like most organizations that seemingly, appearingly, were started by us FBAs, but they were not. FBAs just were used as fronts to, run these organizations, but they really just was founded by these people who I'm talking about, who Wallace Ford worked for, because he's connected through his father, right? Yeah, man, this stuff go deep, man. La Cosa Nostra is involved with a lot of stuff, and even La Cosa Nostra is a Luciferic, satanic-based organization, like how most of these organizations are. Yeah. Yeah, man, real RBG. That's why I keep telling them, man. That's why I keep trying to tell. That's why I was telling my brothers in the joint, like, man, y'all don't even understand, man. Islam, just like all other religions, is so made up ass, made to look like what is not at its origin, Luciferianism and Satanism. Just like all other religions. They're no different. But when we're talking about the Nation of Islam, we're talking about this guy right here. Right? Talk about this guy right here. Right? Shout out to my brother, Bishop Larry Gators. Because like myself, he does his due diligence. Right? Shout out to my brother, Larry Gators, man. That wind going crazy out there. I hope that's not the trash cans blowing out there, man. Hold on, y'all. Let me take a look outside real quick. Oh, no, my fault. That's the garbage truck getting the trash cans. That's what that is, right? Shout out to my brother, Bishop Larry Gators, who I have some very interesting questions for him if I was to ever interview him. But that's another topic for another day. That's neither here nor there. We're talking about the origins of the founding of the Nation of Islam and who really is behind it. Right? Many aliases. Too many. Right? My brother Larry Gators breaks this down beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I rock with my brother Gators, man. You know what I'm saying? He does very thorough research. Right? All of this research is public information. And when it comes to the Nation of Islam as an organization, It was founded by the very people who Louis Farrakhan seems to be going at the most. Right? I think that's crazy. And it's crazy that a lot of people who are followers of Islam or members of the Nation of Islam do not know that. Right? And we about to get to it, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. Let's go.
The Pan-Hellenic Great Divine Nine, created in 1930. 9 black Greek letter fraternities and sororities, created by the Boule Secret Society of 9 black men. In the 1969 book by Dr. Wesley, Charles H. Wesley, powerful book. I have a PDF copy. I'll send it to you. The History of Sigma Pi Phi. Dr. Wesley talked about the 9 Knights of the Round Table. You've heard of the Knights of the Round Table. The first 9 black organizations founded by black folk. Okay. We talked about Farrakhan's God. See, they don't want to hear this. I'm going to tell the truth. So this man who was in prison at Alcatraz for murder and for the trafficking of heroin, then who protects the remaining 4 families, Bishop? Farrakhan's God. See, they don't want to hear. In the 1969 book by Dr. Wesley, Charles H. Wesley, powerful book. I have a PDF copy. I'll send it to you. The History of Sigma Pi Phi. Dr. Wesley talked about the 9 Knights of the Round Table. You've heard of the Knights of the Round Table. The first 9 families out of the 13 families. From the Rothschilds down to the 9th family, the Lee family, LI, out of Hong Kong. Responsible for COVID. That's another topic for another day. Each of the 9 knights of the first 9 families of the Illuminati out of the 13 are to be protected by the first 9 black fraternities and sororities. So then, why? Because the Boulets are designed to protect the system. Then who protects the remaining 4 families, Bishop? The De Medicis, the Orsinis, the Colonnas, and the Farneses. Well, those last 4 families of the 13 protect the 4 corners of the Boule Secret Society, who protect the 9 families. It's the compartmentalization of darkness. Okay. Now, Malcolm X. Well, let's get back to, there's never been a black organization founded by black folk.
None. 0. None. All the organizations throughout history that we have been led to believe or think were started, founded, and funded by black folks were absolutely not. None of them. The NAACP, the National Pan-Hellenic Council, the Divine Nine, Sigma Pi Phi, the what else? The Congressional Black Caucus, any of that stuff, man. HBCUs, anything you can think of, the Urban League. All these organizations were not started, founded, created by FBAs. None of them. None of them. Right? None of them. Let's go.
Okay. We talked about Farrakhan's God. See, they don't want to hear this. I'm going to tell the truth. So this man who was in prison at Alcatraz for murder and for the trafficking of heroin, Farrakhan's God, Nation of Islam's God, whom they call Nasser Farah Muhammad, Wallace Dodd Ford.
Right. This guy who I showed y'all earlier, right? Let me pull him back up on the screen for y'all. So y'all, we can show confirmation of the information. Right. This guy right here, Farah Muhammad, Wallace Dodd Ford. Right. This guy right here, just in case y'all forgot, him He's not an FBA. No, he's out of New Zealand. Khazarian, crypto Jew Khazarian, perping like he is Islamic. He started the NOI in America. And he ain't even from here. Right? Through his father, who was connected to the Jewish global mafia, his connections with Meyer Lansky on the west coast of America. He was transported to America via LA, then eventually to New York. Right? To, under the disguise of the religion of Islam, start an organization to be a protagonist antagonist situation between Zionism and Islam. What's going on in the world today? Fard Muhammad, or Wallace Dodd Ford, right? Through his family member, his father, and the connections with the Jewish mafia, which is a Luciferic and demonic organization in its origins as well, too. Right? Use him to create a protagonist against, right? Against Zionism. So they can now then have in America homegrown terrorists when their plan comes into fruition of UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. And this is the historic roots of using us Black folks in America to turn us into homegrown terrorists by being members of these very organizations that these people created, founded, and funded. Right? The same people that created the ADL, the same people that created the NOI. Right? Two sides of the same coin. Right? And that's what I'm here to tell y'all and show y'all and present to y'all. Right? Wallace Dodd Ford, aka Wallace Fard Muhammad, aka Fard Muhammad, is Elijah Muhammad's big homie. This guy run around with the U.S. gangsters in America, man. This guy was a gangster, man. Connected a little bit, and he was a made man, if you would. If you think about the Italian mafia, La Cosa Nostra structure, Wallace Dodd Fard was a made man in the U.S. criminal organization, Global Syndicate, which has its roots in Luciferianism and Satan, just like La Cosa Nostra, right? Please believe it. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Now we're about to get back to my brother Gators, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering.
Takes over the congregation of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which the building belonged to the employer of Claude Green, who worked as a servant, a housekeeper for Julius Rosenwald. Noble Drew Ali comes back.
Noble Drew Ali, who used to be a homeboy of Fard Wallace, right? Shout out to Noble Drew Ali, man, for what he attempted to represent. You know? But it's just hard for me to accept or believe that guys who are at this level of intelligence didn't know what I know. considering the origins of these organizations as they were the people who were chosen to be the originating faces of these organizations, man. Right? Now let's flip it back real quick, right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Noble Drew Ali, who is credited for founding and starting the Moorish Science Temple in America, right? After parting ways with Elijah Muhammad and his big homie, Fard Muhammad, or Wallace Dodd Fard. If I'm not mistaken, Elijah Muhammad's real name is Jesse Poole or something like that. Out of Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Used to run around with Al Capone and them back in the day, man. Meyer Lansky. Yeah, man. You know, Noble Drew Ali. There's more science. I used to get into it with my Mo's too. Shout out to my brother Fridge. That's my big homie, man. He taught me a lot, man. When I presented this information to my brother who was in prison, man, it caused a rift in our, relationship a little bit, but that's still my big homie though, man. Regardless, I'm not here to make you feel any type of way. I'm just presenting the facts. You make of it what you will. Noble Drew Ali branched off from the Nation of Islam and started his own thing, the Moorish Science Temple of America. How was he able to do that? I could do a whole show just on Noble Drew Ali, right? Because he didn't like the direction that, personally, he didn't like the direction that Fard Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad was going in, right? And versus him just leaving the organization in its entirety, he decided to go with the ops of the ops. Not even really the ops, because it's the same people. They're all connected. Through his connections with this woman. Hold on, let me go ahead and do that. Through his connections with this woman right here, Noble Drew Ali was able to start the Moorish Science Temple. Right. This is another topic for another day. This just happened to fall in line with this, because at some point they all use tenets of the Islamic religion within their organizations. I'm talking about the Moorish Science Temple, and I'm talking about the Nation of Islam. Right? H.P. Blavatsky is the founder of the Theosophical Society. And she is a Khazarian under the employ of in partnership within, through her DNA, her bloodline connection through the Blavatsky bloodline, to the Schiffs and the Warburgs and the Rothschilds. So even the Moorish Science Temple, another alleged so-called Black organization, foundation of Black American organization, was even founded and funded by the Khazarians, just like Islam. Or should I say, like the Nation of Islam, right? So Helen Blavatsky was Noble Drew Ali's benefactor, funder. That's another topic for another day, though, y'all, right? Another topic for another day, right? Now let's get back to Gators, man. He about to tell y'all about old Noble Drew, right?
To Chicago and wants his church back or ministry back. All of a sudden he died. I'm not saying, I want the Nation of Islam to hear me. I'm not saying that your God, your Mahdi, your Messiah, okay, Wallace Dodd Ford murdered Noble Drew Ali. I'm not saying that. But when I am saying that when he came back, when Noble Drew Ali came back, when the heat died down, he ended up dead. And so did Claude Green. So Master Farad Muhammad, Wallace D. Fard, flees Chicago in 1930 and goes to Detroit, Michigan. Begins to mentor a young man by the name of Elijah Poole.
Elijah Poole, that's his name. Mentor a young man by the name of Elijah Poole, right? Or hold on, let me pull it up on the screen for y'all because we got to give confirmation of the information. You did. Or Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad, real name Elijah Poole, out of Detroit, Michigan. Right? Was the understudy of William Dodd or Wallace Dodd Ford Muhammad. With this, now, who is Elijah Poole? Who's his daddy? Right? Come on, y'all, man. This is how it goes, man. Let's go, man. I wonder if a lot of y'all people who follow Islam or members of the Nation of Islam, how many of y'all know this history of the origin of y'all's foundations and organization? Right? And I wouldn't even get into the religion of Islam and its origins. We just talking about the Nation of Islam, the organization. You did. Back to my brother Gators, man. Let's go, man. Smash that like button, click on and subscribe to the page.
Okay. Who they call the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then the rest is history. Malcolm comes. Malcolm X was the one that built the nation and was not Elijah Muhammad.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. See, what Alex Haley didn't understand is that when Malcolm Little, aka Detroit Red, was in a joint, he was targeted, right? Because unlike what the movie depicted, Malcolm Little was a very influential gangster and figure in the Detroit underground crime scene, which is why he had to go to New York, right? Yeah, he was known to be giving those U.S. gangster boys out there the business. He got wrapped up in some very nefarious things out there in Detroit. He had to flee and go to New York, right? Malcolm was a true G, man. You know what I'm saying? And they was able to get up there. They was able to sit up there and target him and radicalize him and indoctrinate him from in prison, man, because they knew he had influence with the guys in the streets. Look at the numbers of the participation in the Nation of Islam prior to Malcolm being a member, which I think Gators is about to say. Right? That's the part of history that they don't teach about Malcolm. Malcolm just wasn't some bum street dude. He was an influential man in the Detroit street scenes, equivalent to that of a Bumpy Johnson, whom he was very familiar with and even had a relationship with. Right? Man, listen, man. Malcolm was rest in the essence to Malcolm, man. Why you think he left the Nation of Islam, man? He found all of this stuff out. Right? Let's go.
Let me wipe some of the anointing off. It was Malcolm X. So I know a lot of these brothers, they don't want to hear this, who are in the nation, okay? Malcolm X, no one knew outside of Black America who Elijah Muhammad was. When Malcolm X got out of prison, okay, in what, 1953, there were probably barely 400 members in the Nation of Islam.
Barely 400 in 1953. Do your due diligence, man. Let's go.
At Malcolm X assassination, there was over 150,000. Malcolm built that. But where did the Nation of Islam get the money from to build colleges and universities, cleaners, grocery stores? Not by selling fruit bags and bean pies or bean pies. No, that.
No. That's not where the money came from. To set up such an infrastructure that the Nation of Islam has in America as a so-called Black organization. Come on, y'all. Let's remove emotion for a second. Let's think clearly and logically. Let's think critically here. Remove your emotions. Y'all really think the Nation of Islam was built off of dudes selling the final call and bean pies on the corner? Y'all really think that the funding of such a tight-knit organization, so-called Black organization, y'all think, man, come on, man. It wasn't even built and founded by foundational Black Americans. Right? Although a foundational Black American, Elijah Poole, was used as the front of the organization to infiltrate Black communities, to prevent the rising of another Black Messiah. Because what did J. Edgar Hoover say? What did J. Edgar Hoover say? There will never be another Black Messiah unless we create him. Oh yeah, and the same people who created these organizations, the same people that created the FBI. How about that? So y'all don't think I'm being biased. Same people that created the Nation of Islam, same people that created the religion of Islam, is the same people that created, yeah. You dig? Let's get back to my brother Gators. Let's go.
Money came from a white man out of Texas, H.L. Hunt.
H.L. Hunt. H.L. Hunt, through his connections, California, Michigan, New York, Ohio, the U.S. criminal syndicate, equivalent to La Cosa Nostra. I told y'all a little bit about the mega group the other day. Man, listen. Yeah, man. H.L. Hunt. H.L. Hunt is the YT man on the thumbnail with Elijah Poole, a.k.a. Elijah Muhammad. Let me pull this picture up on the screen for y'all, man. You did. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering, man. We getting real history right here, man. This is the actual history, man. This ain't my opinion. This ain't how I feel. This is facts, man. The Nation of Islam was not founded by the hard work and the collecting of money and unifying of Black, foundational Black Americans who decided to follow the religion of Islam and joined this organization, who was allegedly founded and funded by this seemingly FBA guy who is not anything of the sort, William Dodd Fard or Fard Muhammad, or should I my fault, Wallace Dodd Fard, Wallace Fard, aka Fard Muhammad. He's not even from America. He ain't black. He's from New Zealand. He's a Khazarian. Right? His little homie, Elijah Poole, who's a foundational Black American out of Detroit, he put him under his wing. Right? And through the religion of Islam, they started the organization, the Nation of Islam, which was funded by this guy, H.L. Hunt, who's a Khazarian demon. H.L. Hunt, if I'm not mistaken, is the original owner and founder of the Dallas Cowboys. H.L. Hunt was a huge oil magnate in Texas and other states and countries around the world. He even did business with the likes of Poppy Bush, who's now no longer with us, George H.W. Bush. Yeah, man, all of these people are connected, right? H.L. Hunt, this is who Gators is talking about. If I'm not mistaken, H.L. Hunt is the guy who founded and funded the Dallas Cowboys. He's the original founder of the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's H.L. Hunt. This guy who's connected to the very same crime syndicate that I'm speaking of when I'm talking about Wallace Fard Muhammad, Wallace Dodd Fard, transplant out of New Zealand, right? Tap in and walk with me, man. This is the origin and instructions of the Nation of Islam, man. Right? Let's go. Shout out to my brother Gators, man.
Harold Lafayette Hunt, a multi-billionaire oil man from Texas. H.R. Hunt Truckee, was involved in the Kennedy assassination. The day before the Kennedy assassination, Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. The night before, on the 21st, leaders of the CIA, FBI, with J. Edgar Hoover, his lover, girlfriend, Clyde Tolson, members of the NSA, National Security Agency, members of many of these generals from the Pentagon, the State Department, the DOD, the Department of Defense, and the DOJ, Department of Justice. Also, along with them, all of these other ones, like members of ABC, CBS, NBC, Reuters, AP, UPI, met in the home of another oil billionaire by the name of Clint Murchison Sr., whose son, Clint Murchison Jr., created the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. H.L. Hunt didn't start the Dallas Cowboys, but H.L. Hunt is connected to the guy, Clinton Merchant Sr. Hold on, let me pull him up on the screen. Clinton Merchant. Oh, let me pull it up for y'all. Yeah, Clint, my fault, Clint Murchison. All right, that's what he said. Clint Murchison. Y'all know who Clint Murchison is? All right. He's H.L. Hunt's homeboy who helped fund the Nation of Islam. Right? Clint Murchison Sr. Right? Texas-based oil magnate and political operative. Amongst his company was Southern Union Company. He was also the father of Dallas Cowboys owner and founder Clint Murchison Jr. The third child of John Mother and Clara Lee Murchison was April 13th. He was born in 1995. Right? Yeah, he worked in his father's bank. Yeah, and all these people, they all connected, man. Right? They all connected. And his son, Clint Murchison Jr., right? Hold on. MRXIS. Yeah. This the guy that started the Dallas Cowboys. Clint Murchison Jr. Right? That's him right there. So these are the guys that helped fund and found the Nation of Islam. They're all connected. They're all connected. So, like most in all so-called Black organizations, the Nation of Islam was not funded and founded by Black folks, not foundational Black Americans. It was funded by Khazarians, Murchisons, Hunts, right? Now let's get back to my brother Gators, man. You did smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. We getting first class education, man. You know the facts.
Listen, Jerry Jones, which exists today. H.R. Hunt's son was a man by the name of Lamar Hunt, who created the American Football Conference, the American Football League, which is called the AFC in the NFL. Lamar Hunt. His son, Clark Hunt, is the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. You see.
All connected.
Okay, I got to be careful. So they
see how it's all connected, right? We got H.L.'s son, H.L. Hunt's son, Lamar Hunt, right? See how they keep it in the family? Kansas City Chiefs. Basically, what I'm telling y'all is that the Nation of Islam was funded and founded by the very people who started the NFL, the AFC, right? The same people, right? Yeah. The Nation of Islam was not started or funded or founded by Black folks. No, it was not. Founded and funded by the very people that the Nation of Islam has been created to have an opposition against. Look how hard, since y'all say that the Nation of Islam is not a political organization, which is why is Louis Farrakhan such a political advocate against Zionism and the state of Israel? And speaks very loudly and publicly about it as well. The way Muslims are being treated over there. So don't sit up here and tell me that the Nation of Islam is not a political organization. right? Y'all did y'all know that about the Dallas Cowboys? How many of y'all knew who H.L. Hunt is or was? How many did y'all know that the Dallas Cowboys was founded and funded by Khazarian demons who got their money from the most nefarious gangster ways back in the early part of the century, the 13th, the 14th and 15th century. We ain't even gonna talk about the history of how football even got created. That's another topic for another day as well. H.L. Hunt, his son, is the father of the guy who started the Kansas City Chiefs. So what I'm being said is that the Nation of Islam was funded by the very same people who started the NFL. Ain't that something? Huh? Facts. These are facts, man. Right? Shout out to my brother Larry Gators, man. So I tell all y'all dudes, man, we get mad at me, man. I'm just the messenger, man. Don't get mad at me. You know? Let's go.
Now, H.L. Hunt gave Elijah Muhammad millions of dollars from 1955 to 1975 until the death of Elijah Muhammad, millions of dollars a year. Why? Because H.R. Hunt, along with supplying money, not just to Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam, but also H.R. Hunt, the puppet master, was supplying $100,000 a year to George Lincoln Rockwell, the creator and the leader of the American Nazi Party. Why? Because
so you gotta fund both sides of the game, man. H.L. Hunt understand that because he's a Khazarian. Let's go.
H.R. Hunt feared these two entities, the Nation of Islam and George Lincoln Rockwell, the American Nazi Party leader. Malcolm found this out.
Malcolm found this out. He took his shahada. He went to actually Mecca and seen what he saw and got put up on game. And he realized what was going on was why he came back and denounced Islam. Denounced the Nation of Islam. He became a conservative Republican down there. He voted for Barry Goldwater and he supported, Malcolm. And he began to speak out against the nation, out against the nation's connection to yield yafficking. I said the nation's connection to yield yafficking. Amongst other things, being founded and funded by the very people who are oppressing Black folks in America, foundational Black Americans, when this organization is supposed to be used to unify them and liberate them. And in ways it is, but under what circumstances, right? Thank you, RBG. My man Dave Valencia said all major professional sports were started and funded by organized crime organizations and occultic ministers, white men. Not even white men, Dan Valencia, Khazarians. They don't consider themselves white or European. They are Khazarians, man. Those who say they are Jews but are really of the synagogue of Satan, man. Merovingians. That's what they are. They're Merovingians. You hear me? My man RBG said, this is good info. I'm going to bring y'all the dope info. So I'm going to bring y'all the facts. Y'all make of it what y'all will, man. I don't do the rest of it, man. Make of this what y'all will. Believe it or not, but whether you believe it or not is irrelevant because this is the absolute facts. This is why Malcolm became a threat. He found this out. He began to talk about it. Malcolm began to delineate. Malcolm delineated from the Nation of Islam. He delineated from his connections with all so-called Black organizations like SNCC. Right? Like the Urban League. Huh? like Masonic organizations and the Divine Nine. Malcolm delineated from this stuff, man. He was all about conservative, foundational Black American business. And when Malcolm began to speak about this stuff publicly, live at the goddamn, you know what I'm saying, live at the Autobahn, man. Rest in the essence, killed our brother in front of his whole family. Disrespectful. Very ritualistic. Yeah, Malcolm wasn't on it. Malcolm wasn't no punk though either, because like I said, Malcolm was a known ninja in the streets of Detroit, Chicago, and Harlem, and New York. He's a known gangster, man. He wasn't no petty two-bit crook. Malcolm was a big-time gangster of the likes of a Bumpy Johnson. That's the story they ain't telling us about Malcolm Willard. And he was targeted by Fard Muhammad or Wallace Dodd Fard, right? Because they knew the influence he had in the streets of America through his criminal organization ties in Chicago, in Detroit, in New York. And they targeted Malcolm while he was in prison. Right? Huh? What y'all know about that? When Malcolm realized how he was used, he was furious. And he said, nah, I'm bringing the whole damn thing down. And before he asked the chance, he actually could. Y'all see what happened in the Autobahn. But he knew it. He knew what they was doing, dude. That's why he, you know, if Malcolm would have had, if we would have had social media back then, Malcolm would have blew the lid off the whole thing. He would expose the whole fraud that is the Nation of Islam. It is what it is, brethren and sisters. It is what it is, man. Let's go.
Malcolm left the Nation of Islam, not just because Elijah Muhammad was sleeping with teenage girls, but Malcolm found out that a white man, now Nation of Islam supposed to be white, supposed to be pro-black, anti-white, okay, pro-black. The white man is the blue-eyed devil, okay, but a blue-eyed devil was giving you millions of dollars, not through bean pies and fruit bags, restaurants, cleaners, colleges, universities. No one from the Nation of Islam would ever admit that. I have receipts. So then, Malcolm found this out. But Elijah Muhammad, who feared JFK, he talked about JFK, but at the same time, he feared JFK because if JFK ever gets killed, wait a minute now, we can lose our money because we got Malcolm X is exposing my money train. So H.R. Hunt told Elijah, you got to silence him. So Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam, sat Malcolm down for 90 days as a pretext. Malcolm was always talking about JFK. Malcolm was always talking about the Kennedy administration. But why was it that the Nation of Islam, especially Elijah Muhammad, feared Malcolm? Because Malcolm was exposing the chickens coming home to roost. Okay. Malcolm was not defaming JFK. He was just saying, okay, all of your foreign policy, JFK, going back to Eisenhower, going back for the past 50 years prior to 1964, your foreign policy, you took out Patrice Lumumba, you've taken out African Archibalite leaders, you've taken them out, now the chickens have come home to roost. Okay. So you have FBI moles within the Nation of Islam.
My man Blind Mars said they tried to make Malcolm out to be petty, just like they tried to make Sinful P out to be. Rest of the answers is simple, man. This is facts, y'all. This ain't me putting a twist on nothing. This ain't me pulling stuff out the sky, conjuring up stuff. This is the facts, man. Do your due diligence. H.L. Hunt funded and founded through his connections with his Khazarian friends and compatriots, right? The Nation of Islam through their employee, Wallace Fard Muhammad, who then undertook under his wing Elijah Poole out of Detroit, Michigan, then implanted him into Chicago and New York, new name Elijah Muhammad, where they found out about ex-street gangster, right, known criminal across the country, Malcolm Little out of that Detroit Red, Malcolm Detroit Red Little, right, who was cool with the guy's grandfather who was eventually start the Chambers Brothers and the YB. Man, come on, y'all. This stuff goes deep, man. This stuff goes deep, man. Yeah, H.L. Hunt funded and founded the Nation of Islam, right? So they can get control, right, and have insight, firsthand influence on if at any young new black messiah rising up out of our community. And if you think Louis Farrakhan don't know any of this, he denies being involved. Right? All right. Let's go.
Saturated throughout the nation. It got back to Elijah Muhammad. But why are you sitting Malcolm down now when Malcolm had been talking about this man for years? Your money train is all about money. Okay. After 90 days, we want you to sit down on a permanent basis. Malcolm says, it's time for me to go. Malcolm then became more dangerous. So the Nation of Islam was created by a white man, their God, whom they call Master Farad Muhammad, okay, Wallace Ford, a white New Zealander. The NAACP was not created by black folk.
Well, NAACP was not created by black folk. The Urban League was not created by black folks. The National Pan-Hellenic Council, not created by black folks. Sigma Pi Phi Boule, not created by black folks. Eastern Stars, Blue Level Lodge, Freemasonry, Prince Hall Freemasonry, the Elks Lodge, the Shriners, and anything of the like, not created by black people. None of it. Who wants to challenge me on it? All of these organizations founded and funded by Khazarian demons and their employees. Right? Huh? Yeah, man, the Nation of Islam, man. So any of y'all who follow the NOI in America, y'all is under false pretenses. It's not a black organization, although the black community has been used as the face of it in order to get the agendas across it is, which is making sure another black messiah is created by these people, just like J. Edgar Hoover said. Oh, and like Gators just said, the NOI is filled with NOI plants who are really FBI agents. Chock full, as any and all organizations are. Remember when J. Edgar Hoover said, if there is another black messiah, unless we create it, this is why they have their boy H.L. Hunt through their connections with Fard and Elijah Poole. They put they stick the Nation of Islam on Malcolm Little when he was locked up and indoctrinated him. Put some money on his books because he was messed up when he got locked up. They took all his money, they stripped him, they made him look bad. Y'all remember the scene from the movie Malcolm X when he said, man, he threw the body, I don't care nothing about that. They stick the Nation of Islam on Malcolm Little because they knew he was influential in cities where black folks was just deep in back in the day. Chicago, Detroit, New York. You gotta think about what was going on, man. He said Elijah Bird song. That boy named Elijah Poole, man, with an E on the end. Poole is a Khazarian name. I wonder if y'all knew that. Any of y'all with the last name Poole, that's a Khazarian name. Right? Long bloodline. Long bloodline. Let's go back to my brother Gators. Let's go smash that like button and put a number 11 in the chat. If you're hearing something and you're learning something you never knew before, put a number 11 in the comment section. Put a number 11 in the chat if you're hearing and learning something you never heard and learned before concerning the Nation of Islam. Let's go.
It was created by Henry Moskowitz, a Khazarian attorney.
Henry Moskowitz. Do y'all know who Henry Moskowitz is? Man. All these people are connected, man.
Out of Eastern Europe, and the Spengarn brothers out of Romania.
Henry Moskowitz. This guy, man. This is Henry Moskowitz, man. Y'all know, that name sound familiar to any of y'all? Henry Moskowitz. Who is he? Henry Moskowitz is a civil rights activist and one of the co-founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Like I tell y'all, none of these organizations was started by us. Not even the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Right? Who is Henry Moskowitz? This is this guy right here, co-founder of the NAACP, a Khazarian demon who hung out with guys like the Rothschilds, the Schiffs, Peter Warburg, or Paul Warburg, Jacob Schiff, the Rothschild brothers, man. Y'all see when this dude was born? He was born in 1880. He's a Khazarian. Those who claim they are Jews but are of the synagogue of Satan. And let's go back to Gators, man. Right? I gotta connect the dots for y'all and show y'all this, man. Right?
So Khazarian Jews created the NAACP and still run it to this day. NAACP, Korsnick Urban League. Black faces, Zionist money.
Black faces, Zionist money. They have to make sure that another black Messiah never rises, man. Come on, man. This is the irrefutable facts, not no feelings, not no pulling the part of it. Nah, facts. Actual facts. Now, if y'all thinking about the name Moskowitz, think about this guy right here. And we're going to get back to Gators. I want to show y'all this stuff. Right? on real quick. I'm gonna be pulling this picture up for y'all real quick. I'm the wrong name. It's not that. It's Steve. All right, and well, I'm gonna get back to that. Hold on, y'all. Let me play this game. Let's go.
Okay. Boulets. So wait a minute now. Now, who was working on Malcolm X's autobiography? Okay.
Alex Haley.
The writer of the Root series, Alex Haley. Alex Haley, unbeknownst to Malcolm, worked for the FBI. Now, the part Malcolm didn't know that Alex Haley was working for Reader's Digest, along with Alex Haley's best friend, okay, Albert Balk, who was an FBI informant, also helping Alex Haley work on Malcolm's biography. Malcolm X gets assassinated. 3 months after Malcolm X's assassination, in May of 1965, 3 months after Malcolm X was assassinated, 3 chapters are taken out of Malcolm's book, his autobiography. Why? The last will and testament of Malcolm X, where he said that in 1964, he voted for Barry Goldwater. Wait a minute now, I thought Malcolm was a racist. Malcolm was not a communist. He was not a Marxist. Malcolm was not a racist. Malcolm was a black conservative. But the system does not want us to know that. And if Malcolm was alive today, he would never vote for Kamala Harris, for someone like that. No.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the U.S. And
great research.
Someone like President Trump, Malcolm X could sit down and talk with. That's why they shot Malcolm like a dog. And nothing has changed. Now, I don't believe that the Nation of Islam was involved. Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam created the atmosphere for Malcolm's assassination.
Right.
CIA, FBI, and a rogue element within the New York Police Department called BOSSI, the Bureau of Special Investigation. It was a rogue element of FBI officers posing as NYPD officers, infiltrated Malcolm's organizations. Muslim Mosque Incorporated, which was the spiritual foundation of Malcolm X, and built on top of that was Malcolm X's political paradigm, the OAAU, okay? The Organization of Afro-American Unity. The week before Malcolm's assassination, a company out of the UK called Serco, S-E-R-C-O, bought the Audubon Ballroom a week before Malcolm's assassination. Who's Serco? They provided the 19 hijackers of 9/11 with passports. That's Serco. Okay. They bought the Audubon Ballroom. Don't tell me it was, it wasn't no 6 to 9 black men that took him out. No, it was not. The government, the Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI, Lyndon Baines Johnson helped take out Malcolm X. I told you, for a bucket of chicken and 2 butter, nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
Okay.
Nothing has changed.
And then from Malcolm, we come up to President Trump, who's making America great again. He's keeping his promises. Charlie Kirk. Okay.
All right. That's another topic for another day. All right. And that's exactly what it is, man. So when you think about it for real, right? And as y'all see, this is all facts, man. This is not BS. This is not no conjuring up. This is facts. This is why I be telling, man, you know how many fights I almost got into in a joint with my Muslim brothers behind this? Some of my brothers who are members of the Nation of Islam about this topic. My brothers want to sit up here and fight me. Want to sit up there and catch the fade. Want to get there, man. Behind me, exposing this knowledge to them while we were in prison. Right? So I'm not being on no BS or nothing like that. It's just the truth. Right? In order to know the purpose of an organization, you have to understand the purpose of what you know. You got to have a idea of the mind frame of the people who started the organization and what was their intentions upon doing so. What would be the intentions of the Khazarian global mafia, Luciferic satanic-based organization, the descendants of the Khazarian Empire, which are descendants of the Babylonian Akkadian. All right. Not circle, circle. Not circle, C-I-R-C-O-E, circle, S-I-R-C-O, circle. Yeah, the same company that bought the building where Malcolm was assassinated is connected with H.L. Hunt, connected with the people who actually founded and funded the Nation of Islam. Right, let's go, man.
Charlie Kirk.
Hold on, I'm about to show y'all this other video, man.
In the United States, African Americans have had a long history of oppression.
Hey, shout out to my man, to Hype Plus, man. All right. This is ill right here, man. This is just further confirmation of that.
At the hands of whites. Since our arrival in the states as slaves, the path towards freedom in the form of finances and overall lifestyle has been made difficult due to a number of specific laws and policies made against black people. Leaders in the African American community often decided how many people would operate in society, as they were very influential and respected. Elijah Muhammad, who established the Nation of Islam in 1931 alongside Wallace Fard, was such a great leader, and his views on religion and the black man caused great controversy, both amongst those within the nation over time, as well as those on the outside looking in. A major basis of the beliefs being pushed by Elijah Muhammad was that of being strictly against integration. From Muhammad, the idea was that black people should be self-sufficient, as God is black, and so was the first man made in his image. As a tactic to be able to truly prevent integration, Muhammad would eventually turn to an unlikely source in the form of the KKK and white supremacists. The move was heavily scrutinized, and the doubling down of it by Muhammad only placed a greater strain on many who felt that working with these groups under any circumstances was a poor judgment. Many have never heard of this gutsy and groundbreaking move, making it crucial to understand both how and why Elijah Muhammad partnered with the KKK and other white supremacists in the first place, as well as the consequences the decision had for years to come. Elijah Muhammad was born Elijah Poole in Sandersville, Georgia on October 7, 1897, as the seventh of his parents' 13 children. Having grown up in the South, racism and the subsequent issues that came with it was something Muhammad hoped to escape by moving up north. By his early 1930s, Muhammad had developed strong views on race and religion, thanks greatly to influence of Wallace Fard, who had changed his name to Wallace Fard Muhammad by this time. These ideas led Elijah to establishing himself as a black separatist, with a strong belief in the black man being the original man and capable of thriving without having integration with the white race. Information from a PBS article reveals more specifics of the Nation of Islam's origin state.
The FOI, the fruit of Islam. Right?
Like Malcolm X's father Earl, Poole left Georgia and came north in search of opportunity and to escape Southern racism. He met Fard and one day heard from him that Fard was in fact Allah, or more precisely, the latest in a series of Allahs. Renamed Elijah Muhammad and referred to him as God's messenger, Poole established a new temple in Chicago, the city that will become the Nation of Islam's headquarters.
And that's where they are to this day.
This establishing of the nation in Chicago was crucial, as Chicago was a large enough city for there to be hope that the message would spread quickly and grow the following. Another focal point of the teachings pushed by Elijah Muhammad, according to the Britannica piece, was that Elijah Muhammad believed that the white race was created by Jacob, a black scientist, and Allah has allowed this race to hold power for 6,000 years. Their time was up in 1914, and that the 20th century was to be the time for black people to assert themselves. Black economic prosperity and other positive developments were all pushed as being owed to black people, with Elijah Muhammad consistently asserting the time is now. Serving as a leader under Wallace Muhammad since the inception of the group, a few short years later, in 1934, Wallace Muhammad would disappear. Elijah Muhammad would immediately begin his reign as leader following the disappearance and looked to expand the group in a way he could as quickly as possible. Gaining of funding for the group was something that in the eyes of Muhammad would be the only way for black people to get on track or ahead in society. The fourth quarter published an article that speaks on the life of donor H.L. Hunt.
Oh, yeah, H.L. Hunt was a member of the KKK. H.L. Hunt's grandfather was cool with the guys who started the KKK. Albert Pike and Nathan Bedford Forrest. All these people are connected, man. Right? This guy, man, H.L. Hunt, who was friends and business partners in funding and founding the Nation of Islam with his homeboy, right, out there, who ended up, his Clinton Murchison, who eventually would give birth to the guy who started the Kansas City Chiefs. H.L. Hunt's son, you know what I'm saying, grandson started the Kansas City Chiefs, and his son started the AFC. All this stuff is connected, right? This is where he got the bread to start the NOI from. Not from no black folks in Detroit, Chicago, and New York. From H.L. Hunt, Khazarians, man. People who are cool with the guys who started the KKK and are members of the KKK, man. They're all connected, man. The Nation of Islam is not a black organization. It wasn't created for the advocating of uniting and liberating black people. No, no, and no. It was created to breed more new type of slaves for the new slavery, the NFL. Right? Tap in, walk with your brother. You know I'm gonna put y'all up on game about the facts. Hits the name, stacks with the facts. Tap in, walk with me. Let's go.
Gives reason as to why he would agree to work with a black man, stating one of Hunt's chief allies, Alfred Zoe, indicated that since 1936, Hunt advocated deporting all African Americans to Africa. For this reason, Hunt supplied Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad with continuous financial support due to Elijah Muhammad's belief in racial separation from whites.
See, Elijah Muhammad took that money because he was given the task to manipulate black folks in America to migrate back to Africa, Al-Qiblan. When that is not our place of origin. Clearly, it did not work. Let's go.
In 1997, Dr. Manny Maribel would publish an article titled Along the Color Line, which would detail the controversial meeting of Minister Louis Farrakhan, Reverend Benjamin Chavis, and fastest racist leader, Lyndon LaRouche.
Y'all heard about old Dr. Ben? Louis Farrakhan? Bought and paid for these guys, man. Come on, y'all, man.
Before detailing this meeting in the 90s, the author notes that the Nation of Islam had had a long history of meeting with the white right. At the height of the civil rights movement across the South, many white racists and ultra-conservatives came to the conclusion that the racially separatist views of Elijah Muhammad were clearly preferable to the integrationism of Martin Luther King. Now, Hunt was an oil baron, originally from Illinois, who made it big in Texas. The shared idea that blacks and whites should not be together led to the consistency of the support, and the billions of revenue gained from being an oil tycoon made Elijah Muhammad rich as he purchased lavish homes and other items for himself from these contributions. Additionally, Elijah Muhammad would end up establishing overseas bank accounts as well as for his assets, with many claiming he did this merely out of greed to avoid taxes. As the years went on, Elijah Muhammad would only become more passionate in his pursuit of preventing integration, hypocritically teaching that the white man was the devil while simultaneously accepting these donations. Information gained from the Southern Poverty Law Center highlights the timeline of Muhammad's actions, as it states that in 1961, Elijah Muhammad, founder of the black supremacist Nation of Islam, met with the Ku Klux Klan leaders at Magnolia Hall in Atlanta. Although they had different ideas about the skin color of the master race, they shared the belief that blacks and whites should stay separate. The following year, Muhammad invited American Nazi Party chief George Lincoln Rockwell to address a nation convention in Chicago. Rockwell had gone on record telling his followers that Elijah Muhammad has gathered millions of the dirty, immoral, drunken, filthy-mouthed, lazy, and repulsive people, and inspired them to the point where they are clean, sober, honest, hardworking, dignified, dedicated, and admirable human beings in spite of their color. Muhammad knows that mixing is a Jewish fraud and leads only to aggravation of the problems that it is supposed to solve. I have talked to the Muslim leaders, and I am certain that a workable plan for separation of the races could be effected to the satisfaction of all concerned except the communist Jew agitators. George Lincoln Rockwell. Many in attendance were specifically angry at the fact that the speaking of Rockwell took place on Savior's Day, specifically which was Wallace Muhammad's birth date. And
see how ritualistic these Khazarian demons are, man?
a way to commemorate it with the Nation of Islam. Despite the outcry by others in high positions of power within the nation, Elijah Muhammad would speak publicly on the matter, rebuking the comments of his peers in the April 1962 edition of Muhammad Speaks. Muhammad Speaks was a newspaper produced by the Nation of Islam from 1961 to 1975 that was widely read, and the origins of it would be later taken on by other Muslim leaders such as Farrakhan.
Farrakhan, the current leader of the Nation of Islam. How many of y'all knew this about Minister Louis Farrakhan? How many of y'all knew this about Louis Farrakhan? Malcolm spoke fervently about his denouncement of the Divine Nine fraternities on numerous occasions. One of the reasons why he said he didn't trust or want to partner with Martin, because he knew, like how he found out about his own organization, he found out that the National Panhellenic Council, Sigma Pi Phi Boule, Divine Nine, he found out that it was all started and funded by the very same people who started and founded the Nation of Islam. So the very fact that Louis Farrakhan is an honorary member of Omega Psi Phi, Divine Nine fraternity, out of the National Panhellenic Council, Sigma Pi Phi Boule, lets me know that Farrakhan is more than likely probably Boule. So yeah, man, the whole organization is compromised. at its leadership at the top. Like most other organizations and religions. And I'm just here to share this information with y'all. Make of it what y'all will, man. Believe me or not, man. Get in your feelings. Get all salty and all that stuff. I don't care. This is the facts. I don't have a regard towards feelings and emotions when it comes to facts. I just don't. Right? So everybody who tapping in on Facebook, Clifton Anthony Curtis saying all, I respect and I appreciate you tapping in and saying all the stuff you say, but the facts are what the facts are, brother. Right? The Nation of Islam is an organization that was not founded by Black folks, not funded by Black folks. And in their origins, they are Luciferian demonic organizations because the people who founded these or helped to find and fund and found these organizations, they are practitioners of not only Luciferian and Satanism, but they are the very bloodlines of the Nephilim, the Watchers. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. All of this stuff is connected like I've been telling y'all. And a lot of us are not prepared to psychologically, perceptually go where this information is going to take us. It's just okay and comfortable to believe that, the Nation of Islam is a Black organization founded by Black folks and they're doing all this good stuff in the Black community, specifically in Chicago. Right? But when we talk about the high up structure of the organization and the origins thereof, it was not founded or funded by Black folks, not even for the purpose of advocating for the liberation unity of us. The exact opposite. And the leaders, Louis Farrakhan, Fard Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, or should I say Wallace Dodd Fard and Elijah Poole. I don't know what Louis Farrakhan's real name is. They tried to recruit Malcolm X and they was almost successful until they overcooked the pudding with him. They tried to use Khalid Muhammad. Y'all see what happened with Khalid. They tried to partner with Marcus Garvey. They tried to infiltrate O.W. Gurley and them out there in Tulsa. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Farrakhan is an honorary Sigma Pi Phi, man. He's an honorary Omega Psi Phi. I'm pretty sure he's honorary Boule as well. This y'all homeboy Farrakhan, right? So when I say what I say about Islam, specifically the Nation of Islam, I'm 100% right. Louis Walcott. Yeah, Walcott is a Khazarian name, man. Oh, and he a tether? He ain't even from America? Oh, my God, I didn't know this. Y'all put me up on game. I didn't know this about Louis Walcott. I didn't know Louis Walcott is not FBA. He's a tether. He's a tether, an anchor baby. Let me find out Louis Walcott, man. Up out of the Caribbean, man. He looked like an old Barbadian ass dude or something like that, man. Each one teach one. Louis Farrakhan sitting up there claiming that he ain't know nothing about. I'm not saying that he didn't know anything about Malcolm's crime. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't. Right? But that doesn't negate the fact that Farrakhan is still the boss. He's still the leader of an organization that to this day gets funding from the very same foundations, the same organizations. Louis Farrakhan was around in the days of H.L. Hunt funding and founding the Nation of Islam. He was there. Right, you said Farrakhan's children mostly marry white people. Yeah, y'all, man. Yeah, but we about to get up out of here, though, y'all, for real, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. I just want to do this show, man. It's Black History Month. You know what I'm talking about? It's Black History Month, and I wanted to do this show, you know what I'm saying, to give some historical background on the founding and the funding of the Nation of Islam, which both were not by foundational Black Americans. And even as this per my brother Daniel Valencia, even the current leader of the Nation of Islam is not a foundational Black American. Or he's not of foundational Black American descent. Right? So FBA all day, every day, no doubt is off. Wrestling the essence to our brother Malcolm X, aka Malcolm Little, up out of that Detroit, Michigan, Detroit Red. Wrestling the essence to our brother Malcolm, man. He tried to put us up on game. He tried to warn us, man. And y'all see what they did to him. He knew too much. He was too powerful, too influential. They tried to use him, and the trick was no good. They tried to put Malcolm in a trick bag. Right? Yeah, it might be time for another phone, man. Yeah, so, man, smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. Y'all know when y'all tap in with y'all brother Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stats with the Facts. I'm going to leave y'all with nothing but the facts. Y'all make of it what y'all will. Do your due diligence. Hey, man, it is what it is, y'all, man. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger, man. Don't get mad at me. Because you got so much allegiance to this religion or this organization, which was basically founded and funded by demons. All the systems and structures and organization at this level in this country specifically are founded by demons, literally founded by demons. And it's my job to expose that and put y'all up on game, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. These are the facts. What I tell you, Dave, he look like a Barbadian dude, man. I do it, man. What I just said, and I thank Yeshua Hamashiach for the high level of discernment that he has blessed me with, man. I could tell, like, he probably a Barbadian, look like a old Barbadian ass ninja. And look at him, his people is from the mulatto class of the Barbados, man. Louis Walcott, agent provocateur ass ninja. Yeah. Straight like that. Oh, the Omega Sci-Fi. Oh, whew. Look at that. We about to get up out of here, y'all, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. I appreciate everybody coming out. So y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with me, and I appreciate that. I thank y'all for that. Oh, let me get to this before we get up out of here, though, too, y'all. Right? Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all this before we get up out of here, man. You did. Because it's absolute must that I show this with y'all. Especially if y'all in the Columbus or surrounding area. You feel me? Right? Yeah, man. Hold on, let me do this too real quick. Yeah, let me do this real quick, y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. Y'all know I'm gonna bring y'all the facts, man. I ain't about to sit up here and blow no smoke up y'all's tail, man. Pause, man. I ain't gonna do that, man. I'm gonna bring y'all the facts. Straight facts, man. I don't care about how nobody feel, man. I really don't. I ain't got time for that, man. This ain't about feelings, man. This ain't about how you feel, man. This is about the facts. My question would be, well, how you feel about the facts? Now that I done sit up here and presented you with the facts that you can go check out for yourself, man, how you feel. How you feel about the Nation of Islam? How you feel about the religion of Islam? And I haven't even gone in on the religion of Islam. Right, that's another topic for another day right there in itself. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Right, I'm trying to find the post. I'm about to come up on it. Coming up pretty soon here. Yeah, we're going to get straight to it, man, because it's a beautiful thing, man. I want y'all know, man, this brother's doing positive things in the city, man. You know what I'm saying? There's positive things all in the city. Right? This is what we're doing in the city today, this evening. Right? We're going to be at the same venue that I was at for the Jill Scott listening party. I just, you know what I'm saying, basically did a wine tasting for our cater for with the Don H and the Arvino. You know what I'm talking about? He said Barbersoul here. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Let me pull this up for y'all. This is the men's group we having tonight, man. Shout out to my brothers over there at the African American Wellness Agency. African American Male Wellness Agency. We having a men's meeting tonight, man. It's going to be a beautiful thing, man. If y'all in Columbus or the surrounding area, if you can make it, I suggest y'all come out and network with your brethren, your brother. We're going to have a conversation, not only about, you know what I'm saying, doing business and networking on that level, sharing the resource, but also, man, talking about what we're going through as men and how we can use our connections with our resources to help each other out and put each other in positions to win, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm going live from there tonight. I'm going to have some footage from there. Get y'all some content from this event tonight. You know what I'm talking about? And this is what real FBA men is doing in real life, in real time, on the streets, on the turf. It ain't just an online thing. We do things in real life, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been invited to co-host this event. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And I appreciate the honor and opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Or not so much. Let me say I might be jealous. Not co-host, but attend the event, you know what I'm saying, with the person who is hosting it, you know what I'm saying, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, it is, RBG. It's gonna be fire, man. I'm gonna get some content. I'm gonna make a pre-recorded video out of it. It's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling y'all, man, this is the type of stuff real ones get involved with on the street. We don't just be talking online. We actually in real time, in real life, in our community, making things happen, networking with our brethren, interacting with our brethren, engaging with our brethren, coming up with solutions on how we can help each other win and get in the best position as men and live out our manly purpose, right? FBA all day, every day, no days off. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Of course, share on your social engineering. You did. You understand me? And we're going to play this classic E&E track by my brother King L. Or should I say by my brother Narcissist Sick. My brother John Boy. You did. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. You know? Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in, man, showing that support. You know? Everybody tapping in, showing that support, man. That's what's up, man. For real. You know what I mean?
Work confidently while on SS.
Y'all already know what it is. Till we see y'all again tomorrow, man. We're going to have another show for y'all ladies tonight tomorrow. It's going to be a surprise. You did.
It must be a bad dream. Easy, running our lanes like a track meet. It's an over hurdle. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's a fact team, then double up the championship belt like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on all of our black kings. All black everything, we got black tea. All black cookie, man, I don't add cream. Sauce give you all you need, no more caffeine. Close down the whole set, no more casting. Remove targets off our back like a black team. We keep growing up the game like a black team. The girl got a problem with me, then did at me. I fired for a buffer, now you got a drag queen. You can't stop me, you old as jalopy. This is past me, I got it photocopied. Call up on film, full tracks is sloppy. Trying to attack me, you a carbon copy. Toss in the heat like Timothy blocks, and I charge for a look, put me in a penalty box. Man, I'm killing the ops while I look at my watch. All hands on deck like the time on the clock. Task force, black force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belt like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining all on our black thing.
My grass cut low to catch a glimpse of the snakes. Devilish serpents with purpose to steal your cake. Smiling in your face while they got their eyes on your saint. Yeah. Boy, they hatred, man, they make you do some foul things. Switch up on your niggas like the numbers when the Dow change. When I'm up for minutes, still a grind like a broke. Take it for granted, shit be going in the people's phone. Better put your plan in action, niggas do to use the whole. Formulated the plan, calculated the steps. 2020, my vision, see my way to the check. Only way is up, I made my way to the steps. Look, only way to move is building kingdom shit. Niggas won't make a move, want you to bring them shit. But God bless the child that can hold us on. They want to give you numbers in his cell like a mobile phone. But fuck a cop any wicked judicial system. Cause niggas on the edge, there for you to push. Bullets loaded tight up in that magazine. Bringing nightmare to American dreams.
Task force, black force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's a fact team, then double up the championship belt like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining all on our black things.